Hi, my name is Anisha and I'm a fellow at the Digital Swaraj Fellowship. I was placed in Assam, two districts, Morigaon and Nagaon. I was assigned to conduct a baseline study to understand how is it that we can increase capacity building for rural women entrepreneurs that would enable them to digitize their businesses. So the way that me and my partner went about with conducting the study was essentially starting off with interacting with the community, trying to understand the social, the cultural, the economic conditions of the communities that we were interacting with, and more importantly, trying to build a certain amount of trust with them. Once we felt that there were enough touch points for both us as well as the community, we felt like, okay, now we can ask them questions related to their aspiration, their business, how they are conducting business, and how they are receiving training that was already given by DEF. Once we reached that point is when we created a questionnaire, a survey questionnaire that was distributed with them in Assamese. We conducted surveys with over 100 RWEs in both these districts. In a total of, we interacted with 14 centers, ultimately did surveys with 11 centers, and we realized that there were certain issues while receiving training where we can very simply deal with those problems and make sure that the capacity building can happen at a better level, such as language barriers or the unavailability of a phone. So yeah, we did find some interesting solutions for those problems as well. We created firstly a presentation to share our findings with our peers and also understand where it interconnected with other people's findings as well, since they were in different locations. So the presentation helped a lot with that, to understand what my peers did in similar locations, in similar projects. And the second part of that was also creating a report. Creating the report was a tad bit tiresome and tedious and a little bit more complicated than creating just a project, because the way that you write in a report, the language can also determine how the message is put across. That was one of the feedbacks that I had received during the presentation as well. So the report was more comprehensive. It allowed for a lot more freedom as well. And in the report, we pointed out the statistical data of all of our findings from the survey. So there were two types of learnings that we had. First was a very personal learning about myself, and the second was about the project. So I would like to start with the project as was the task assigned to me. So when we're talking about the task that was assigned to me, many things that you learn about rural India with logistics, with language, with education, with literacy rates. So I learned that these are not mere numbers on a paper. The reality of that, the ground reality of that has a very big impact on how an individual can participate in society. So project-wise, that was a huge learning. And when we talk about my personal learnings, I learned that I am a very non-verbal communicator and I'm a very keen listener. But when it comes to connecting with a community, there is still so much more to do, so much more to learn. So I'm looking forward to being back in the field sometime soon. So digital to me before I went to the rural immersion was a concept that, okay, you need a phone to communicate, phone can give you platform, etc., etc. When we were in the field and after spending that 1 month speaking to all of these women that were micro entrepreneurs, I realized that it goes beyond communication and beyond just a medium. It provides access in a very meaningful way, especially in the 21st century. To navigate the term access in itself, digital acts as a huge bridge in that particular gap. So that was my biggest learning in that. The rural immersion actually did impact me on a very personal level. I learned about resilience, I learned about adaptability, and I learned that if you just simply trust the process, There is a lot more to it than walking in with a certain set of expectations. You can let the process surprise you in good ways and bad. And it's okay to take the bad and move along instead of sitting there and contemplating of, oh, this is an inconvenience, that's uncomfortable. And that has also helped me develop a sense of empathy, to understand that there are people where every single day this is their life. And that has also inspired me to try and bring about a meaningful amount of change for them on a personal level, on a capacity that I can do as an individual. Interestingly, I had a few, but if I had to choose, I was conducting a survey on in one of our centers, and an elderly lady walks in. We were making her fill the survey questionnaire, and she was an unmarried woman, but had a lot of responsibilities. She was working in livestock as well as agriculture, and she did not understand Hindi. She was not educated in Assamese for her to fill out the form either. So then it required a lot of assistance from other RWEs to fill her form. And while she was dictating all of her answers, she also divulged in a little bit of her personal details about where she is in life, what is her story, what is happening to her on her personal front when it comes to work and surviving in society as a woman who does not have a partner, a male partner, a counterpart. And in that moment, I happened to place my hand on her shoulder because she was getting a little excited while she was speaking. So I wanted to ground her, help her just come back to the room a little bit. And in that moment, that lady looked me in the eye, and all I could see was tears flowing down, and she was narrating her entire story. And yes, digital plays an entire role in what we are doing and why we are there, but that human touch was extremely important to us as well. And in that moment, I was extremely grounded with the people that I was with, their stories, their struggles, their triumphs. And I could feel her pain, and at the same time when she smiled, I could feel her joy. And that was a very defining moment for me at the tail end of my rural immersion, but nonetheless a very cherished moment. As a leader, I believe that empathy is an important aspect. I believe one of the most important aspects. Working with women that lead empathetically has been something that has helped me quite a lot, even within the organization. Mentors like Arpana ji, mentors like Arpita, they have played a huge role in guiding me empathetically. So the value of empathy, and actually the redefinition of empathy that I learned in the rural immersion, is going to contribute to my leadership skills.